Genetically speaking, the human population has two aspects of their reproductive style which are very dangerous. First, they live a long time, but second, they have a small number of offspring. The consequences of these two are that mutations will tend to accumulate as time goes on, and at some point there will simply be too many harmful mutations for the human population to survive. Mutations are common. Each human, we estimate, has more than 100 new mutations at conception that did not exist in the body cells of our parents. How does the human species survive this genetic doom? Well, it seems that we pit gametes against each other so that as they compete, any gametes which possess harmful mutations are less likely to be those involved in fostering the next generation. And so an ejaculate contains hundreds of millions of sperm. They need to swim a long distance for a microscopic cell, the length of the vagina, the uterus, and an oviduct is quite a formidable distance, even though they do have some help by uterine muscle contractions. And thus, the abnormal sperm, which possess harmful mutations, may be less likely to be those which reach the oocyte first. Even normal men produce very large numbers of abnormal sperm. In the same way, of the 7 to 9 million potential gametes in the female reproductive system during fetal development, only about 1 million exist at birth. Several hundred thousand exist once menstrual cycles start in puberty. Each month, about 1,000 primordial follicles become primary follicles. Over the 6 to 8 months that these primary follicles require to become antral follicles, the numbers decrease, and so there are perhaps 5 to 30 antral follicles, which over the period of 3 months then mature to make the one single pre-ovulatory follicle which undergoes ovulation. And thus, more than 99.9% of the potential follicles in the ovary will not undergo ovulation. Instead, they will undergo a programmed cell death known as apoptosis, or in this case, atresia. And so we estimate that those follicles which are slower to mature, perhaps because of the existence of harmful mutations, they, as they compete against other follicles, are less likely to be the follicle which undergoes ovulation that month. And so while many sperm and many oocytes possess harmful mutations, it seems that by having them compete against each other, having sperm compete against each other, and have oocytes develop in a menstrual cycle where many start but only one will finish, that this is a strategy which is largely successful in weeding out the majority of mutant gametes and thus ensuring the best possible genetic health in the offspring.